What if I told you that the history you learned in school was deliberately sanitized, stripped of the blood, betrayal, and buried truths that actually shaped America? Here are 10 dark chapters from U.S. history that were conveniently erased from your education. Between 1907 and 1979, over 60,000 Americans were sterilized against their will. This wasn't some rogue operation. It was legal, systematic, and endorsed by the Supreme Court. The eugenics movement targeted the poor, the disabled, and people of color. California sterilized over 20,000 people, a program so effective that Nazi Germany studied it as a model. Victims were often told they were receiving routine procedures, only to discover later they could never have children. The last known forced sterilization happened in Oregon in 1981. The Tuskegee syphilis study ran from 1932 to 1972. 600 black men were told they were receiving free health care. In reality, they were guinea pigs observing untreated syphilis. Even after penicillin became the cure in 1947, these men were deliberately denied treatment. Their wives contracted the disease. Their children were born with congenital syphilis. By the time a whistleblower exposed it, 28 men had died directly from syphilis, 100 others from complications. 40 wives were infected, and 19 children were born with the disease. Operation Northwoods. In 1962, the Joint Chiefs of Staff presented President Kennedy with a plan to stage terrorist attacks on American soil, blame Castro, and justify invading Cuba. The plans included hijacking planes, bombing U.S. ships, and creating fake casualty lists of innocent Americans. These were detailed operational plans, not vague ideas. Kennedy rejected it and removed Chairman Lemnitzer. During the New Deal, the government created maps marking black neighborhoods as too risky for mortgage lending. This was federal policy. Black families were systematically denied home ownership, while white families built wealth through government-backed loans. By the time this was outlawed in 1968, the damage was done. Today, the median white family has nearly 8 times the wealth of the median black family, a direct result of redlining. On May 13, 1985, Philadelphia police dropped a bomb from a helicopter onto a house occupied by MOVE, a black liberation group. The fire destroyed 61 homes and killed 11 people, including 5 children aged 7 to 13. Katricia, Zanetta, Delisha, Netta, and Tree. This was a deliberate assault on American civilians in a residential neighborhood. No one went to jail. From 1958 to 1967, the Indian Adoption Project systematically removed Native American children from their families and placed them with white families, often without consent. Thousands were stripped of their languages, religions, and identities. They were punished for speaking their native languages. This federally funded cultural genocide created trauma that rippled through generations. During the Cold War, the government conducted radiation experiments on citizens without their knowledge. Prisoners, hospital patients, pregnant women, and disabled children were injected with radioactive substances or fed radioactive food. At the Fornold School, mentally disabled boys were fed radioactive oatmeal and told they were joining a science club. At Vanderbilt, over 800 pregnant women were unknowingly exposed. The government didn't disclose these programs until the 1990s. The Ludlow Massacre, 1914. Colorado coal miners struck for better conditions. When they were evicted, they set up tent colonies. On April 20th, the National Guard attacked with machine guns and fire, soaking tents in kerosene. At least 20 people died, including 11 children who suffocated hiding beneath burning tents. This was a massacre of families demanding fair wages. Rockefeller faced no consequences. During the Great Depression, the UC forcibly deported over 1 million people of Mexican descent. 60% were U citizens. including children born on American soil. Families were rounded up without trials and shipped to Mexico. American citizens lost everything and grew up stateless in a foreign country. California didn't apologize until 2005. COINTELPRO. From 1956 to 1971, the FBI conducted covert operations to destroy political organizations through psychological warfare, break-ins, and assassination. They sent Dr. King a letter urging suicide. On December 4, 1969, Chicago police shot Fred Hampton dead while he slept, working with an FBI informant who had drugged him. Hampton was 21. J. Edgar Hoover ran this with no oversight. The program only came to light when activists broke into an FBI office and leaked documents in 1971. The lesson? History isn't neutral. It's constructed by those in power. These facts weren't omitted because they were irrelevant. They were buried because they complicate America's narrative of progress. Understanding these hidden chapters doesn't mean rejecting patriotism. It means holding your country accountable and ensuring these injustices are never repeated. The question isn't whether these things happened. The documents prove they did. The question is what we're going to do with that knowledge now.